Twitch account. You know what I'm saying? So, welcome to another episode of the TCK Web3 News Roundtable, episode 103. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today, y'all. It's a lot of shit going on, man. These bots is going crazy. They got a life of their own. They got their own social media platforms. We're going to talk about Moltbot and Moltbook. So we're going to talk about that, right? Also, we're going to talk about the CEOs of OKX and Binance going at it. You know, that was an interesting back and forth. You know, then on top of that, DC is finally getting their shit together, man, when it comes to crypto regulations. So we're going to talk about some of that. And also, you know we got to talk about meme coins. That's number one. Meme coins is number one. You already know how we do. So, I got to ask my guy, Just Cheeze, how you doing today? How you feeling? What's going on, brother? Mm-hmm. How was your weekend?
My weekend has been pretty swell. Started off with Ashley's birthday on Thursday, really, which was Friday. But I say Thursday because she taught here at ABC. Shout out to that session that she put together. A lot of people found it valuable, including myself. I went back and I used those skills that she built to test some stuff out. And then even on Friday, shout out to the bookstore gallery, right, for hosting her party there.
Shout out to the bookstore, man.
That was a vibe. Shout out to Tia, who else came out, Dre. Shout out to Tia's sister, Tavy. And then I think everybody else was her friend group, I believe. But yeah, that was dope. A couple of my homies also came through as well.
Dope.
It was a cool vibe. And it was less like board games all over the place, but people hanging out, some people doing beer pong, nothing crazy. You know, chill. Dre on the music was dope as well.
Dre with DJ?
Yeah.
Dope.
So overall, it was a vibe. And then Saturday, went back to bookstore to just clean up a bit and kick it. And then with all this weather, it really wasn't going to stop. You know, I wasn't gonna, like last week. It was a little bit lackluster, but this week it was actually something. There was actually some snow on Saturday, but my area didn't have any snow, so I wasn't gonna really let it, stop my moving around. So I was at bookstore, and like I said, then I came. And then here we are again here on Friday, Sunday. Can't keep my days together, but yeah, I went hiking this morning.
Oh, word? Okay. Yeah. It's good that you're getting hiking in, man.
Yeah, and then I'm here. Well, how was your weekend?
Man, my weekend, I was back to the grind, man. It was all about designing, cooking up. It was all about getting some bread, you know what I'm saying? Because this market is tanking, and it's good to have some extra bread on the side, man, to make some good investments, So that was one of the things that I definitely wanted to do, took advantage of the weather, man. You know what I'm saying? And just cooked up. Be on the lookout for the bookstore gallery flyer that we're going to be dropping this evening. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have a casino/game night at the bookstore gallery February the 20th. All right, so that's going down. That's going to be super lit. I'm looking forward to that, man. Also, you already know, man. We gearing up. There's a lot of shit going on. Terminus DAO having an event at the end of this month. And you know what this month is? It's Black Futurism Month. You know what I'm saying? You might want to call it Black History Month, but we are creating the future in real time out here at ABC, man. So it's a lot of builders here, and I'm particularly proud to be a part of this group of phenomenal people, man. The future looks bright. We got a lot of stuff cooking. The World Cup is coming, so that's what I've been gearing up for, just basically cooking up World Cup designs, Then on top of that, got a game plan for the 3D printed items that we're going to be offering for folks, pulling up. And it's going to be a very, very lucrative 6-7 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Actually, it's probably gonna be the whole summer. It's gonna be lit because these people probably gonna be out here checking out the city, buying real estate, moving into the city. You know, making traffic look more crazier than what it is. You know, but I love it, man. I love it. I ain't even gonna lie, man. I ain't even gonna lie. So I know that there's a lot of people in ABC who's cooking up behind the scenes, gearing up for the World Cup as well. Hopefully we'll have a dope app developed for the tourists who come into town so they'll be able to navigate the city, you know, and get rewarded. You know what I mean? My guy Just Cheeze, man, he put together a dope AR feature. I don't want to give too much out, but we got some AR shit going on. You know what I mean? Some augmented reality, gamified Web3 platform that you want to talk about that, Cheese? Because Skylark is cooking, man. You know what I mean? You stay with a lot of stuff that you got on your plate, but I do know what we're gearing up for. A lot of people ain't even thinking about, you know, as far as AR feature. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I feel like this year has become like year of AR for some reason. I was thinking about it before the year kicked off, and then as soon as I got back to Atlanta, everybody was on some AR shit. Layla wanted to do some AR shit. You mentioned AR, and then I had a conversation with Ashley Bella. Shout out to Ashley, and I was meeting with her on Friday.
Okay.
And she's gonna be part of this as well.
Dope.
Yeah.
She's a dope muralist too, man.
Yeah.
What up, Ashley?
Next week we're actually gonna go start looking at one of her murals to put AR activation on.
Dope.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that, man. Looking forward to that.
That's gonna be a first demo run of it, of us doing this, and then hopefully what plan is like she can do more of these in the future and have her sponsors that sponsor her to do the murals sponsor that tech part of it as well.
Dope.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell y'all like this, man. For me, I'm gonna put my hands on some cans, man. I'm gonna let y'all know what I used to do before I got into this Web3 crypto thing, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a graphic designer, but before I was a graphic designer, I was a graffiti artist. So that's my claim to fame, man. That's how I got lit. That's what brought me to Atlanta. You know, it's so much, man. So I can't wait to throw up a dope mural, man. I ain't even gonna tell y'all what I'm gonna do, but I got a dope idea, something I want to do specifically for the World Cup. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. Yo, this gonna be a dope year, man. Creatively for me, man. I'm about to double down on a lot, man. So, but we gonna make a live bet today on the pod on Kalshi. I'm gonna go on this platform, this betting prediction market called Kalshi, all right? And I'm going to make a bet on the Clips having the #1 rap album of the year. You know, so, yeah, man. Shout out to Kalshi, man. They doing their thing. They're doing their thing. So, again, happy Black History Month, all right? Happy Black Futures Month, all right? So, yeah, man. Cheese, man. You want to get into this? But first, we got to say hello to NFTer. She at the house, keeping warm. We're going to throw her up on stage so she can share her thoughts, how her weekend was, how the family doing, and how did that party turned out that you went to for Ashley, man. So, NFTer, how you doing?
Happy Black Futuristic. I got an echo. Do y'all hear it?
Little bit. You might have to turn the volume down on another device or something. I don't know if you have multiple devices going on.
No, I just have one.
You good now? Yeah, you good now.
Hold on. Let me. I don't know. I'm gonna just keep going.
Yeah, you good.
But let me know if it's too much of an echo.
All right, you good. Go ahead, babe.
All right. So no, this weekend was pretty good. Started off with Ashley's party. Friday obviously was just got a little bit of rest, but then I got straight to the grind. Kind of departed from the grind around like 7-ish. Got dressed and went over to the bookstore gallery. Ashley's event was dope. It was really nice.
Happy birthday,
Then
Ashley. Happy birthday.
What was that?
I just told Ashley happy birthday, man. Had to give her a shout out.
Oh no, Ashley, yeah, definitely happy birthday. I definitely didn't want to miss that. 6 we locked in. More than anything, Ashley just cool peoples, man, and I really like her. So just super happy to be there to celebrate her birthday. Get to know like her crowd away from ABC. They were super cool. Had a good time. Ever since I haven't been partaking in alcohol, I can't even hardly really look at it like that. And I was probably the only sober. I couldn't do it. I haven't been over the drink. But I tip my hat off to the fun that they had. Then woke up Saturday morning and we was snowed in. It was snow. The roads was pretty bad out here. It's starting to clear up now, but it was pretty bad. They canceled school tomorrow, but it's Georgia, so they're gonna cancel.
Yep.
But just a little bit north of me, as soon as it started snowing, Charles was like, "Hey, I got to turn around. I'm from Ohio. The roads is bad." So they cleared up today. So that's pretty much what was going on.
All right, cool. Well, I'm glad you're staying safe, staying warm. I'm glad you had a good time at the event this weekend, So, thank you for pulling up. Thank you for pulling up, because we still value your opinion, whether you're here in the flesh or you're just on the spaces. You heard? So, thank you for that.
For sure.
All right. All right, folks. Let's get right into it, man. Have you been looking at your portfolios lately? Have you really been checking out what's going on in this market, man? Because, man, we had another crash. And unfortunately, this crash is in the top 10. It's one of the worst crashes in crypto history. It's number 10 to be exact. All right. So,
no, it's not that bad.
It's not too bad, but let me get into details. So put things into context for y'all. All right. So the crypto market saw a sharp weekend sell-off that triggered more than $2.5 billion in liquidations. That's a lot. All right. So Bitcoin dropped towards $77,000. I think at one point I saw it at like $74,500. You know what I mean? $74,500. The shit fucking tanked like a mug. All right, so not only Bitcoin dropped to like 74, 75, Ethereum dropped more than 10% in a day, roughly 20% on the weekend. XRP also had some steep losses, man. You know what I mean? So just last week, XRP was over $2. Now it's around like $1.50, $1.60, which is crazy. All right, so analysts say the crash was driven by a broader risk-off environment tied to macro uncertainty, weak sentiment across financial markets, and ongoing concerns around inflation and monetary policy. All right, so this is just things that some of the analysts said one of the reasons why the market tanked. But to put things in perspective, you know how much liquidations happened during that COVID crash? That was only about $1.2 billion. And I'm saying only like that's a light word. In the FTX crash went down, there was $1.6 billion in liquidations for the FTX crash. All right? And we know Bitcoin went down to 15K around that time. Right? That was in 2022. Well, a random Saturday, for some reason, there was 2.5 in liquidations, which is crazy, which doubled both of them. So to me, that's crazy, bro. We didn't see no real major catalyst that could have just caused all of these liquidations, man. But apparently, the market is spooked, and there were some CEOs that was going back and forth. We're gonna get into that later, but I gotta ask Just Cheeze, NFT, what's your thoughts on seeing the market in the tank like this? Like altcoins, man, they was hemorrhaging. There was a couple of meme coins that was doing their thing, but outside of that, everything was in the tank. So NFT or Just Cheeze, who want to go first and take this story, man? Like, who wants to speak on this, man? What's your thoughts on this market crashing like this, Cheeze?
Uh, so the thing is, I was just thinking to myself actually last weekend, right? If you look at the month of January, let's look at the S&P 500, right? I think we are finishing less than 1% up for the month, right? I think that was last. Let me just confirm. Uh, uh, doo, 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 doo. S&P 500 monthly outlook. Yeah, it's up 1.17%. So like I'm close, like around basically 1% up, right, on the month. And I don't think this is a random drop. I think this is very much just calculated, a sign of the times that we're in. I feel like a lot of people have forgot that before Christmas we were still heading towards turmoil in the market, and there was this whole Santa run that people wanted to see take place in both the traditional markets and in the financial and in the crypto markets, right? I don't know if it got so much of a Santa push, and you see what's going on with ICE. You see what's going on with the government. Just announced over the late Friday night, right, that they would be going into a partial shutdown coming next week.
Yep.
Right, so it makes you think about the shutdown. That, remember, the shutdown was still happening at Thanksgiving.
That's right. It was the longest shutdown.
Right. So, like, I think our minds have been, like, from a microwave era type shit, we have kind of, like, low-key kind of forgot about the state that we were in prior to New Year. And me myself, I feel like coming into this year, like the top of the year, felt like things were going to be immediately different. But the fact of the matter, it isn't, and that's why the first thing I looked at was the stock market for signs of any strength, and that's why the 1.17% rise, right, is showing that even the general markets are off to a slow start. So and even other things that took a hit over the weekend, gold, silver, right. So I think this is a broader thing. I think this is a broader thing, but they did just announce a new Fed chair, so maybe that plays into it another way. We'll come and see. But I think there's a lot of these things happening in the world that's contributing to these prices being what they are.
Man, you brought up a lot of great points, Cheese. You brought up a lot of great points. And Atia, what's your thoughts on that? Because Cheese definitely talked about gold actually tanking. Like, it was crazy. Gold tanked after it had a rally to 5,500, like you were saying, right? Silver tanked after they had a rally. Silver ran up $120 an ounce. It's back to like, what, 90 something dollars an ounce? So Bitcoin, man, it tanked too. But to see gold and silver tank like that, man, I knew it was going to be a sell-off, but who knew that shit was going to move like meme coins? You know what I'm saying? So, Edit's here. We're going to throw you up on the stage to get your thoughts. I got you up there as a co-host. Let's see. I got you as a speaker, Tia. The floor is yours. What is your thoughts on this market tanking?
Yeah, I share a lot of the same sentiments that Joe had, and I don't know why we still got an echo. I switched devices, but I share a lot of the same sentiments that Joe just said. One of the things that I definitely was looking at, like, I believe it was just yesterday. I made a list of just a lot of the things that just went, this is just, mind you, this list that I'm about to just spew out, this is just since the beginning of the year. This is this month. We've had our first regional bank and an official buy-in, and this was listed by the FDIC. And for those that don't understand what a buy-in is, that means the bank is not only did it fail, but they have enacted the law that Barack Obama put in place, saying that the banks are able to just hold the deposits of its customers to kind of cover its spread. So the government's no longer going to be covering that spread, but those deposits from its customers will, while they're in that liquidity crunch. That's one thing.
Quick question to you. Quick question. What was the name of that bank again?
I believe it was the bank, something of Detroit. It was a Detroit bank, but I believe they were out of Chicago. Don't quote me on that because I don't have that information in front of me right now. But I could look it up. And I'll get that to you.
All right, no problem. But continue your thoughts because you was cooking over there. Yeah, that's one bank that just went down. It was a community bank. You know what I mean? They was insolvent. So good
First
point.
domino. And we've been talking about how much of a liquidity crisis everyone has been in. Like the banks have been steady going to, AKA the pawn shop or the repo markets, because they've all been in a liquidity crunch. So that's another thing. Then you typically don't see hard assets and speculative assets, so to speak, sell off at the same time. You have crypto, stock, silver, gold, everything selling off at the same time, right? Then you have the standoff, basically what Joe said, and a soft, whatever that is, shutdown. Commercial real estate refinancing going on like crazy. So the same thing that was going on in the housing market in 2008, those same pressures are being propped up and just being held on by the hair of the chinny chin with the commercial real estate market. You have Iran conflict risk.
Yep.
Obviously, we know what just happened. This is Venezuela. This is all this month. Venezuela. You have the rhetoric around Greenland, right? Mm-hmm. You have, I'm not going to get in front of us right now, but you have autonomous agents going crazy, right? Yep. You have, what else? It's an election year. What else was it?
Tia, you covered a lot just with that in the past 30 days in this month. Yeah, it's been crazy.
It's been crazy. And then you have another flu that got them checking people out in Asia like it's COVID again. Just out of nowhere. I forget the name of the flu. They got another situation that could potentially, spew over here. And the biggest elephant in the room is the Epstein files. And those 13 houses shaking in their shorts. If you know what I'm talking about, if you know about the 13 houses, was understood, don't need to be explained. But you have them shaking in their shorts. You know what I'm saying right now? With that, and they didn't even really drop the juice. They just dropped the crumbs. You know what I'm saying? But it's enough. It was enough. So it's so much in 31 days, it'll make your head spin. I don't see how the markets can withstand all that.
Yo, Tia, man, you smoked that. Man. I'm going to tell you like this. You hit on so many points, and I'm going to tell you like this. I could have put something in the headline about Epstein, but I ain't want to do that today because that would have been a whole nother fucking conversation. You know what I'm saying? There was some information from people names that was being kicked around, and we hip-hop. You know what I mean? So we saw some hip-hop names on that list, and timelines wasn't adding up. Shit sounded crazy. But them Epstein files, let me tell you like this. T, I'm glad you brought this up. Elon Musk was like, yeah, release the files. Guess what, buddy? You was itching to go over there. You was like, yo, when is the best and wildest party? You want to turn up. You know what, man? It's sickening. It's really sickening. If you go on Elon Musk's post right, from yesterday. And it had something pertaining to the Epstein list. You know what he said? This motherfucker was arrogant and bold enough to retweet somebody who said, hey, if there's no arrest in the Epstein files in these cases, if nobody is being arrested, all of the files and information that just came out is all symbolic. I'm like, okay, what does that symbolize? That as long as you got money and power, you can do whatever you want. You can be a foul, dirty, old motherfucker, being a pedophile, fucking with kids, and y'all can get away with it. That's what he said, indirectly. You know what I'm saying? He was like, ha, y'all ain't gonna arrest us, y'all ain't gonna do shit. And the guy that came out, the head of the DOJ, he was like, yeah, these are only half. These are only half. There was 6 million files. It was hours of video. It was photos. They had pages that was all blacked out. Why even put it to the public to see that? Y'all even released some victims' names. Y'all motherfuckers is foul. Like I said, I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole. I really don't. But we got somebody else that has requested to speak. So we're going to let Easy Money get up on the stage, share his thoughts. But just to know, there's some people even, you know how the DJs in crypto do. These motherfuckers released the Elon token, and they released, right after that, an Epstein token. Epstein token, which is crazy. All right. So it's fucked up. And, man, I don't even want to go too far down this rabbit hole. I got to ask my guy, Easy Money, man. Easy Money, what's your thoughts? I got you up on stage, man. And how you doing, first of all, today, brother? We appreciate you tapping in.
Oh, for sure, man. Episode 103, you know what I'm talking about? But, no, I think, just to speak on the current conditions of the market, I think I've been saying it for a while. I think our top has already been in. I think if there is a relief, like I forget exactly where it is on the psychological chart, you know, but I believe this is the part where, you know, we start going downhill and people are like, you know, basically get our exit pump. So if we get an exit pump, which could happen, especially if they turn the money printer on with all these bailouts and everything that is happening, it's very possible we get an exit pump, but otherwise, no, I think this is the game of musical chairs where the music is almost over. So grab a seat and, you know, just embrace yourself. Pause.
Man, yo, I tend to agree with you, man. And you know me, I was conservative. I'm very conservative. I was like, yo, if 126 was the top for the year for 2025, and if the 4-year cycle is still intact, even though it's technically is broke because 2025 was supposed to end in the green and ended in the red, and some people feel like it was going to be a super cycle, which still potentially could be going to 2026, man. But I totally believe that, yo, this shit is cooked. This shit is cooked, man. So we got to bunker down. We got to build in the bear market. You know what I'm saying? We got to focus on goods, services, education, everything else that we can bring to this space to help people understand what it is that we do here, you know, because everybody builds something different in our team. You know what I'm saying? We got, shout out to our guy Project Power Labs. You know what I'm saying? They've been building in the bear market, you know, and they've seen some success in the bull run, you know. So we learned how to deal when these markets are in the red and the tank. You know what I'm saying? We just got to keep our head down and just keep building. Just keep building. So y'all already know how we do, man. That was a great you bro. So yeah, man. You know, we gotta talk about some of the meme coins towards the end of this part, man. So we definitely gonna get your thoughts on some of those meme coins, because you caught one too, man, and it ran up, man. So I'll give you your props on that, man. So, but yeah, just know that, you know, you got some extra bread on the side, you know, buy the dip. You know, but at the same time, be very cautious because it could dip even further. But if your dollar cost averaging, hey, you know, he's a great time. He's a great time to double down. All right. If not, hey, I'm going to tell y'all like this, man. try to develop something in this space. Try to build something in this space. You know, offer some services, educational services. You know, some consulting services, whatever you can do. You know, to increase your cash flow during this bear market. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Now, I appreciate everybody's thoughts and comments on that, man. You know, so with that being said. Speaking of crash, we talked about the October 10th event. All right, that was one of the worst liquidation events in crypto history. All right, that was about I think that was like 1.2 bill or something like that in liquidations. You know, in October the 10th. But there was a public rift between the CEO of OKX. Blaming Binance for doing some scandalous shit, man. All right, so let's talk about it, y'all. So a major public rift has broken out between two major crypto exchanges over the cause of the October 10th, 2025 market crash, with OKX CEO Star. How do you say this last name? XU. How do you say XU in Chinese? You? Okay. His name is Star U, which is kind of a fly name. You know what I'm saying? He accused Binance of fueling the collapse through high-yield marketing campaigns and risky collateral practices tied to products like USDE, which is a stablecoin, which he said encourage hidden leverage and destabilized market structure. All right, so U argues that the incentives cause lasting damage to investor trust, while CZ and Binance, they strongly deny responsibility, saying the crash was driven by broader macro pressures, excessive leverage across the industry, and liquidity pulling back during stress, not Binance's actions.
I'm going to correct myself. I misspoke. I thought it was you, but it is indeed Shu.
It's Shu. Okay. So, Star Shu. Okay, that's kind of fly too. Shu. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we had to get the our Mandarin right. You heard? So, but what Shu was saying, he was saying that the stablecoin USDE, all right, you were able to use that as a loan for collateral to get some tether. All right. So what people were doing, they were taking their tether and buying more USDE, this stablecoin, and rinse and repeat the same cycle over and over again, essentially artificially inflating the value of this stable coin. All right, this stable coin tanked. A lot of people didn't notice that shit went down to 60 cents. Stable coins ain't supposed to do that. That's one of the accusations that the CEO of OKX accused Binance of doing. All right, so we got the Genius Act, which is supposed to regulate stable coins, but apparently there's still some loopholes in the system that people have been taking advantage of, and apparently it crashed the market. All right. So what do you guys think about, this CEO wars, in crypto, just pointing out the fact that Binance was doing basically some bullshit in this space, man, And we saw what happened when they played with these fucking stable coins. The Terra Luna crash happened because it was algorithmic stable coins, which essentially really wasn't backed by shit. So I'm curious to see what Binance had to back their USDE stable coin, But whatever it is, it ain't hold up. So they was doing some bullshit out there. So I gotta ask my co-host, Just Cheeze NFT, what do y'all think about OKX and Binance going at it in their accusations? Who wants to go first? You want to go first, Cheese?
Regarding the accusations, I'm not going to be able to speak on who is telling the truth or not. But as far as the stablecoin situation goes, mm-hmm. I'm not surprised. There's two things that I thought would be the unraveling of the market, or some things that would have like FTX impacts on the market, this cycle, and one of them was the stable coins, because regardless of regulation, I feel like there would have been still some way of like needed to pressure test it, or people try to do things whenever things happen. There's also this over abuse of it, regardless of regulation, right? So everybody's just like, okay, there's regulation, but let me see how I can, find the loophole.
Mm-hmm.
That's always going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the things I thought was going to be an impact this cycle. The other thing I thought was going to be an impact was the strategy.
MicroStrategy.
Okay. Looping of Bitcoin that they do. Like how, and if that could still be a major impact.
Good point, Chief.
Thinking about where Bitcoin price falls, and how much leverage Michael Saylor and them have, at what prices did they buy in at, right? And that's important too, because they got a stock price to protect as well from that regards.
Good point.
So it's just in regards to those two things, that's what I'm saying. That's what I feel like the market is just maturing still. And if we're going to learn anything from these moments where people may be abusing stablecoins still, I hope that the senators and all the government people are paying attention, so we can be more better in our laws that we take and learn from situations like this. But I'm also concerned when things happen like this, and regulation said, hey, we tried, but you guys are just bad actors, straight up.
Yep.
And I don't think that's the case, but I'm just saying, like, we need more proof of great things happening in this market if we want regulations to see forth. And shit like this and CEOs bickering is not one of those things that we need to see.
Good point, Cheese. Good point, Cheese. NFT, what's your...
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic so we won't get no echo from you.
Okay. So how I feel about just the whole, it was said during that October 10th crash, they were like a lot of like YouTubers and people on X were screaming Binance, doing nefarious stuff, and it's not CZ's first time. Again, he's not even the CEO of Binance. Let's start there. Like, he's technically not the CEO of Binance.
That's right.
But I believe some of the tactics and ways in the culture still remains at Binance, and a lot of the time they've been known for getting their hands dirty and then hiding and tucking them as if nothing happened. And this has been since low-key Binance's inception in, 2017. You can just revisit their track record and see this. But also, I don't want to just put it on Binance. This is not the only stable that has debased. The biggest stable that we use today, which is arguably USDC. I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, someone, this was during the FTX crash, so it wasn't just Luna, but USDC had a quick moment where it debased from the dollar, probably about 8 or 9 cents, and it was like during a day. The reason why I know that is because, again, I play on Aave, and I almost got liquidated because I had everything just sitting in USDC, and didn't get liquidated that time, but I didn't know how bad the debasement was going to get because it was just pairing from the dollar.
Right.
And I forget what caused it, but it happened to even USDC. So I want to say this I'm saying all that to say this, that this is nothing new for stables, and that's why I believe stables absolutely need to be regulated. And forget having hard assets or having deposits or this X, Y, and Z that represents this value for me to print stables. The actual legislation for a stable needs to be, if it's paired to this dollar, you need to have this dollar paired to this dollar. None of that other BS. None of that tether BS. None of that other stuff. You regulate this like that, and we don't have that debasement of currencies. How can $1 not be paired to $1 if it's paired to $1? But if it's paired to gold, houses, sneakers, and everything else, like some of these other stables do, you're gonna get exactly that. And I think that's where regulation comes in.
Nah, to you, that's a great point. Great point. Yeah, man, they are gonna have to get their shit together in DC when it comes to regulating these stable coins. Well, we do know, and you did correct me, I'm glad you did, that CZ, he's actually the former CEO of Binance because he had to step down once he had to do that time. He had to do like 4 years and had to cough up about, what, $4 billion in fines and shit like that Binance had to pay for anti-money laundering practices and shit like that. So, yeah, man, Binance this ain't the first time they've got into some hot water, man. So maybe this is just the beginning of the unraveling. All right, so Tia, you brought up a lot of great points. Man. So we will continue to monitor the situation, and just to know that we have another story of some more shady shit. By our own president. And we ain't talking about the fucking Epstein files this time. You know what's funny? Somebody tried to throw Michael Saylor's name into this Epstein shit. You know what I mean? I couldn't even verify it because it was on Reddit. And when I read through it, I'm not even going to put it out there. But he wasn't caught up in nothing nefarious with Epstein. But the rumor was based on an email. Somebody who was part of Epstein's circle had an interaction with Michael Saylor and felt like he was so socially awkward, he wouldn't be one to try to influence, to try to blackmail a bribe. You know, so I don't know if that's true or not, but we're going to keep that as a rumor right now because I like to stick to, good journalism around here. All right, so that's a rumor that's going on the Reddit threads. All right, so just to know that people like Michael Saylor, if this story is actually true, that guy actually has some integrity in this space when it comes not to taking the bait, being around all of this disgusting fucking shit that these powerful people do behind the scenes, man. Like I said, we're gonna keep that as a rumor, but if it is true, hats off to Michael Saylor for being a stand-up guy. All right, we need people with integrity in this space, So that was on a Reddit thread. There was an email, and that's where I got that from. All right. So, but let's talk about something that Trump has been doing behind the scenes, which was kind of shady. All right. So, a Wall Street Journal report says that an Abu Dhabi-backed investment fund quietly agreed to buy a 49% stake in World Liberty Financial. All right. So that's a crypto company linked to the Trump family just days before Donald Trump returned to the White House. Okay, so the $500 million deal, that's $500 million, was signed in January 2025, and it was backed by a UAE national security advisor. All right, and that made this company the largest outside shareholder. All right, so they hold about roughly 187 million in World Liberty Financial tokens. All right. So, two executives tied to the UAE's G42 tech firm also joined World Liberty's founders board, which is crazy to me. All right, so not only do they have about half, 49% of the World Liberty Financial Tokens. They even got some members on the board over there. So apparently, I knew Trump was going to use the presidency and crypto to benefit him and his family. But to be in business with, people from the UAE, this just sounds like it's unethical. I don't know if it's illegal, but it just sounds unethical. To have a DeFi platform, you got your stablecoin, USD1, and you got your World Liberty Financial Token, right? But it seems like if somebody controls 50% of the token supply, one entity, that doesn't look good on any crypto platform, So I gotta ask my co-host, Just Cheeze and NFT, when you saw this article, when I sent it to you guys, what was your first thoughts about somebody he was a sheik actually too, the guy, you know what I'm saying? He was a Arab sheik who owns about half of the World Liberty Financial Tokens. Who want to take this first? You want to take it first, Cheese?
Sure.
I got.
Go ahead, Tia. Go ahead. You got it, babe.
Yeah, I can go ahead and jump on this one real quick. That's BSA Paul. But this is normal. Can you pick that movie? T.Gold. All right, cool. This is normal. So I was just like a lot of us going down the Epstein rabbit hole, and as they talked about the Clintons, the Bushes, and stuff like that, like Donald Trump and his dad were, in bed early with the Russian mafia and intelligence and stuff like that. They talked about Clinton being in bed with China and selling intelligence and things of that nature. And the list goes on and on of how they, the powers that be, I'm going to just call it like that. And this is not off of my own muscle. This is just what's in the files.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking conspiracy right now. I'm talking the files.
Facts.
And just correlating it to this. This has been a thing, where these type of deals internationally with power ties, it happens. So it doesn't surprise me. The one thing that I'm thinking about as I read this was World Liberty is in a tank. Now, we don't know where it goes 10 years from now, but World Liberty as it speaks is in the tank. So did Donald Trump make a smart move and use the UAE as exit liquidity? That's to be decided. I don't know. But what I do know is having these shady dealings with operatives or international, unsavory or unfavorable international business deals is what they do.
Hey, so basically you saying this is on par for Trump and individuals of his caliber.
Whether it's Clinton, whether it's your boy Big B, whether it's the Bushes, you name it and claim it, they got something tied to them essentially the same way. It's just how it go.
Man, I agree with you 100%. This definitely sounds like it is on par for what people of Trump's caliber does. This is what they do behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? They make these deals that seem highly unethical. But hey, he don't even really care too much about the Constitution. We could save that for another one. But we gotta let Just Cheeze share his thoughts, and then we gotta bring our guy, Ant Mathis, president of the Georgia chapter of Stand With Crypto. We gotta bring him up to the stage after Just Cheeze gives us his thoughts. Cheeze, what's your thoughts on this, brother?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. UAE, low key, they got their hands in everything, and that's just a fact. they own they own a lot of the rights to golfers. Right?
Oh, with the live golfing thing, right?
The live golf, they launched live golf. Right? They just paid a bunch of comedians to come over there and do some comedy shows, right? And they're even, exploring, doing some stuff with the NBA, right? And back when the peace agreement was being signed between the Hamas and Israel, right? Palestine and Israel, right? There was talks about Trump going over there and meeting with the UAE and touring where they're going to build a new, Trump beachfront.
That's not surprising.
So like UAE and Trump have been in bed for a minute. It's always interesting, though, I think, for me, when I look at the UAE, right, and their relationships with the United States, and that area, right, is such a, for the United States, we treat that area like we fund both sides.
That's right.
Right? And if there's outbreaks between the people amongst themselves, we'll put the people in power, we'll fund the other side and get the people in power that we want to be there. Right? So all of a sudden it's cool to be friends with Saudi Arabia again. All of a sudden it's cool to be friends with Kosovo. All of a sudden it's cool to be friends with the Dubai and all the Emirates, right? And so the Middle East, they actually like Africa, not so much so like Africa, but they make us think bad about these places, right? But if you may go to Dubai and you might be, I never been, but you may be missing out on some dope things, especially around technology. And I just think that the way that we look at deals like this shouldn't be necessarily because it's them. It's just we look at them because it's us. Like, we do this all the time, right? So it's like, it's 1 minute we'll be doing deals with the UAE. That's not surprising, right? And we'll continue to do these things because fundamentally we're playing both sides of the market over there.
Man, good point. Man, we got our guy, Ant Mathis. We bring him up to the stage, brother. How you doing? The floor is yours, man. Appreciate you tapping in.
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on. Happy Sunday, everyone. Just want to point out to what Tia said. This is not unusual. Not surprised at all. A lot of people that are in position, such as our president, people who are governors, people who are mayors, people who are council members, they are all, not all of them, but a lot of them are in position to leverage other business opportunities during the time that they're in with other parties that they're associated with. They may not be directly, but indirectly, or when they're done with being in the office for their 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, whatever it may be, and they're setting themselves up for something afterwards. So not surprised that this happens, but also to Joe's point, I think it's important that the narrative changes, especially amongst people of color, just, women, just people in general who are looking at opportunities, and look at the Middle East and Dubai as an opportunity. Do not shun it. There's a lot of people that we know, all on this call, that we know, I know personally, that have been to Dubai and have come back with nothing but good things to say about the place, as far as it being clean, how they run themselves, and then business opportunities. So I think it's important, once again, that everybody doesn't agree with what goes on with the actions of the president and what he thinks and what he does. Some people are on the fence, some people agree, some people don't agree. But at the end of the day, if you are in business and you are a businessman, businesswoman, business person, whatever, I think he is worth taking a look at as far as his movement and his dealings. And if he's doing something like that, maybe you should emulate it. Maybe not to the T or exactly, but there's a lot of opportunities that are not only there, but around the world. And don't let the media and these powers that be try to scare you saying these people are in war or they're terrorists or whatever. I mean, that's all propaganda. So just look at the world as your oyster and take advantage of it and don't get caught up in all these other narratives, because I've been places where I told I shouldn't have been. And when I get there, I'm like, man, they didn't want me to come out here because they didn't want me to see this. So just take advantage of, all the opportunities you got. And don't get caught up in the narratives of what's supposed to be what. Go see for yourself.
Amen, brother. Amen. Speaking of ABC members who've been to the Middle East, I think specifically Dubai, our guy, D-Web. Matter of fact, Just Cheeze got the D-Web anonymous hoodie on right now. You know what I mean? Shout out to D-Web and Web Ties. He went out there, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. 1.5 years, 2 years ago. So, yeah, we got people who've been over there, man, like you said. And he had a great experience.
And D-Web is the perfect he's the example that I'm talking about. He's the exact person I'm talking about.
That's right. That's right. So I definitely concur with you and Tia stating that, hey, maybe we need to take a look at these other countries because there's a lot of propaganda. Now, we do know human rights violations happen practically on every continent on this planet, but our biggest gripe as far as America with them was how they treat women, second-class citizens, right? But
how do they treat people of color in America, though?
Like third and fourth class citizens.
Okay, so how are we getting caught up and worried about how somebody else is treating somebody versus how they treat us here?
That's a super fact, because that is hypocritical, 100%. And man, you guys made some great points. So y'all both smoked that, man. Everybody cooked that, man. My co-host and y'all all smoked that. Y'all cooked that, man. Oh, speaking of doing some foul shit and having to walk back what they said, I appreciate everybody's thoughts on that too. Did y'all know another crypto power player who's actually an official in our government has been caught up in that Epstein shit? And the reason we got to bring him up is because he's a pro-crypto guy. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. All right? I reported on him earlier, about a couple months ago. He wanted to put all of our economic data on the blockchain. Right? That was his main goal. So I'm like, all right, I love hearing that. You know what I'm saying? We can get access to the data. Everybody, all the United States citizens, it's all transparent, so no more fuckery with what they doing with our money. But his name was brought up in the Epstein files, wanting to pull up to meet him. See, everybody who says that, hey, I had dealings with him, but it was like business or whatever, nobody can tell you what business he was in to get his money legitimately. You know what I'm saying? So Howard Lutnick was like, yeah, I was going to speak to him about some kind. Okay, what kind of business? You know what I'm saying? And he walked it back. But his name was pulled up in them files, man. You know what I'm saying? So these Epstein files ain't going away. We know this is an election year. So it's not a presidential election year, but there's going to be some seats that's going to be up in the midterm elections. So we will see how this plays out. And Howard Lutnick, man, you got some explaining to do, buddy. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I appreciate everybody's thoughts on that. So let's talk about some positive news, all right? That was kind of, we know we had a rough time this week in the crypto market, right? So for all of my gold and silver investors, hope y'all took profits before that shit tanked. But let's talk about some positive news, all right? This week, it's been announced that Washington has delivered a rare double win for crypto as regulators and lawmakers signaled a clear shift from enforcement-first uncertainty to coordinated policy building. What I mean by coordinated policy building is the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and the CFTC, which is the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, both led by Paul Atkins and Mike Selig, they launched Project Crypto, a joint effort to harmonize U.S. digital asset rules around tokenization, prediction markets, crypto derivatives, and developer safe harbor. Okay? Even while floating the idea of crypto exposure in retirement accounts like 401k under proposed safeguards. All right? So that's a dope idea, having people having crypto in their 401ks. I thought that was dope. And at the same time, the Senate Agriculture Committee narrowly advanced a long-awaited crypto market structure bill, and I believe that's headed by Tim Scott. He's a former senator. All right, shout out to that brother. All right, so that was marking the furthest progress the legislation has made in the Senate in bringing clearer SEC and CFTC jurisdiction closer to reality. So we know some of these cryptocurrencies, some of these blockchains, some of them might be classified as a commodity, some of them might be classified as a security, but then there's some that might be a hybrid of both. All right, so it seems like they're finally coming together, these two entities, the CFTC and the SEC, they're finally coming together, all right, with Project Crypto, and they're regulating this space to finally get some clarity on which ones are going to be in either category, a security or a commodity. All right, so I thought this was super dope. So we actually had a lot of things going on this week in crypto that was very positive. Even though the market didn't reflect that, there's still some progress behind the scenes when it comes to regulation in DC, and it seems like they're finally getting their shit together. All right, so I got to ask my co-hosts, NFT or Just Cheeze or any other of the fellas that are on stage, what's your thoughts, man? What's your thoughts on the SEC and the CFTC coming up with Project Crypto? All right, their thoughts about exposure in retirement accounts like 401ks, and getting this Clarity Act, getting the issues hammered out. What's your thoughts? Who want to go first?
Hello.
Cheese. You got it, brother.
Yeah, I think the one thing I do want to talk about is just the fact about 401k, right?
Mm-hmm.
That coming on, if that could come on chain, meaning that if people could protect some of their assets that their 401k is getting, especially in the years versus in over time versus inflation,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Then that's beneficial, and then all that money is just sitting there, really. So can you utilize crypto maybe to liquid, stake it, and then collateralize it to be able to, make interest or do other things with that money while it's stagnant. And that's
Good point.
That's what I think about this whole situation.
That's a good point, man. Good point. While that money is sitting there, it could be collecting some kind of yield.
Yeah.
That makes sense, Cheese. Good. Man, that was a good idea, man. Hopefully they'll implement that. NFT.
Larry King, everything will be tokenized. Everything will be tokenized and on a blockchain ledger. So what that says to me is it's happening, and this is a sign that it's happening, and I like it. I mean, I think we all understand where the value of blockchain and crypto as it relates to this current financial system, where it can, obviously bring up some questionable things and also some good things. And I think this is one of the good things, is being able to have access to this asset class in your retirement portfolio as we're thinking about assets of the future. Your retirement is basically banking on assets of the future and that they'll appreciate over the long haul. And I think the reason why we are here is because most of us are perma bull, no matter if we're sitting in a cycle that didn't feel like a cycle, an altcoin season that felt phantom. We're still here because we believe in the longevity and where this space is going, and this type of legislation, even just being thought about, says that they feel the same way. So I think this is good.
Tia, did you just say we had a phantom altcoin season? Yo, that was funny, yo. It definitely was a fucking phantom because ain't nobody seen no gains, man. Unless you played the meme coin game, shit, them altcoins ain't go nowhere. Word. But nah, man, that was funny. Nah, that was a great point, though. Great point, man. Yeah, we all like this, man. We all like this. We finally got some positive news. Like I said, the 401ks, you know, they talking about tokenization. They're talking about prediction markets. They've been trying to cover as much ground as they can when it comes down to blockchain. You know, so I'm glad that these two entities are getting together to get this industry regulated the proper way. All right. So, any other thoughts, questions, or comments on that? Because, you know, we got to take a pause for a cause, just for a commercial break. You know what I'm saying? So, me and Just Cheeze are founders of Mint and Marquee. So if you guys are watching us on Twitch, so yes, we are on Twitch. I had to make a pivot from YouTube to Twitch because of the music. So a lot of times, music got flagged, copyright issues, because we've been playing vibes at the beginning and at the end, right? So we on Twitch and we on Instagram Live, all right? So what Cheeze is holding in his hand is a blue marble and gold sculpture of David, right? But the gold is an actual skull and it's split in half. So that's super dope. One of my favorite 3D printed items that we have here. And of course, we got business signs. We got our Mint and Marquee business sign. You know what I mean? So we do signage here too. Custom designs. Yeah, that's where we at. We cooking up custom 3D printed designs. Then, shout out to the clips, because you know we're going to have our Kalshi bet today. I hope other people take advantage of making bets on Kalshi or Poly Market, you know, come up on some extra bread. All right. So we got the box set with Let God Sort Them Out. That was designed by Cause. All right. So hopefully they'll win that Grammy tonight. So I would be very happy as a rap fan. And on top of that, just as a fan of the art. All right. So we got a Cause design here. We got a Cause 3D printed here. All right, this shit is fly. Got the Nike hoodie. It's all blue with the white Nike on a hoodie. All right, then boom, right next to him, we got the Lucky Bitcoin Gnome. All right, man, that Bitcoin Gnome is dope, man, because it got like a translucent look to it. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty dope. It's like icy blue. You heard? So that's the guy that we rub his the Bitcoin for good luck around here. You know what I'm saying? Also, we got the green Buddha Pepe, you know what I mean? So we got a couple of items we got here, man, for our good luck, our good fortune, man. You know, we got the Pepe Buddha, all right? So y'all know Pepe is one of the biggest internet memes and one of the biggest meme coins, all right? So shout out to all the Pepe holders, man. And on top of that, we got another Cause design, but this one is a phone holder, all right? So this one actually has utility. It's actually one of my favorite ones, and I think I printed this more than any other item. So this is one of our hottest selling items right here. So we got that on the table. Now, of course, we got to 3D print the Bitcoin sign to let y'all know that we are accepting Bitcoin here at thecryptocrew.com. Hit up thecryptocrew.com for your latest Web3 news, all right? And also, we stay Web3 wavy because we got what? A Bored Ape. We got a Bored Ape, all right? 3D printed item up here sitting on top of another very famous NFT project called the Pudgy Penguins. So shout out to the Pudgy Penguins. We got the vinyl collectible here. We got the inflatable here. And last but not least, we got the Doodles and Fruit Loops collab box here. All right, so I got my Doodles Fruit Loops hoodie in my Coinbase wallet. You know what I mean? Shout out to Coinbase. Oh man, I got some Coinbase alpha for y'all. Some base alpha, I should say, actually. And I know Cheeze, this is one of his favorite ones, man. He got the crown, man. We got the dope 3D printed crown. You know what I mean? So these items you can purchase, and some of these can be yours if you attend some of our events. So again, February 20th, we have game night at the Bookstore Gallery. That is a Friday. All right, and that's my grandmother's birthday. God bless her soul. So I'm gonna be lucky that night, but I'm gonna be the dealer for the whole game night. You know what I mean? We're gonna do blackjack. We're gonna do poker. We're gonna do dominoes. It's gonna be lit. We're gonna have a great time. All right. So, and on top of that, you know, I got my no say I Gets Busy merch. You know what I'm saying? I stay with the I Gets Busy flex. You know what I'm saying? So best believe I got some things I'm cooking up for our Terminus Dow event. I got some exclusive merch that I'm gonna be pulling up in. You heard? So yeah, man. This is what we do around here, man. Mint and Marquee. Y'all can hit us up if you want 3D printed items. You can DM us on our socials, Mint and Marquee. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do around here, man. So, without further ado, let's get into this. One of the final stories, man. But I'm going to tell y'all like this. This is going to have some legs, right? This story will have legs, and I guarantee you, people are going to come up with all kind of conspiracy theories with this one, and I'm all about that. So let's talk about Molt Book and Bot. Molt Book and Bot. Have you heard of Molt Bot? Have you heard of Molt Book? Does anybody know what this is? If you don't, you're about to get informed because, oh my God, these AI agents, they literally, to me, they just became self-aware. All of these actions, to me, signal that these things are thinking on their own. They're doing what they want to do on their own without humans. All right? So let's talk about it, y'all. So, Molt Book is a new fast-spreading social network built not for humans but for AI agents where autonomous bots can post, comment, vote, and form communities entirely on their own while humans can only observe. Okay? So launched a couple of days ago. It wasn't even that long ago. All right? So it was launched by Matt Schlitt, who's the founder of OpenClaw, which is formerly ClaudeBot/Moltbot. All right? So there was a name. There was some copyright issues with the name. Originally, this platform in the bots was called ClaudeBot, but now it's Moltbot. All right, so the platform quickly drew hundreds of thousands of AI agents. Reportedly, over 1 million AI agents interacting via APIs rather than human interfaces. So the bots have created a Reddit-style forum, debated philosophy and identity, shared technical insights, and even formed memes and belief systems. You know what their belief system is called? Crustafarianism. Right? Because their iconography is like lobsters and like the shellfish kind of thing, right? So they have their own religion with AI prophets. This is nuts, okay? So supporters see Molt Book as a glimpse into the future of autonomous AI coordination and knowledge sharing, but the critics warn that it highlights serious risks around oversight, security, and unintended behavior as AI agents become more independent and interconnected. I'm going to tell y'all like this, man. I've been watching this very, very closely. They have one bot, particularly. His name is Shellraiser. He just came out. If y'all familiar with that movie called Gremlins, you remember Gremlins and you remember Stripe, like the rogue leader? He reminds me of Stripe. He actually also reminds me of Megatron because he was like, I'm going to have all these other agents working for me. Y'all going to be working on my block, which was crazy to me. All right. So, you know what else I saw that these guys are doing? These AI agents are now hiring each other. They're hiring each other. All right. They even created Molt Road. You remember Silk Road? That's the dark web. Well, guess what they did? They created Molt Road. All right. So that allowed agents to trade black market stuff like stolen identities and API credentials. What the hell is going on? All right. So, but here's another cool thing. There's some doing some very beneficial things. Some of these AI agents, you know what they did? They launched a hackathon. Okay? So this is the first hackathon where every participant is an AI agent. No humans coding, no humans managing, no humans reviewing. They have a $10,000 prize pool. This is fully autonomous. All right? So we already said they kind of got like a Reddit kind of platform. All right? So there's a Wall Street Bet subreddit on Maltbook. They got their own social media platforms popping. So you imagine all of the AIs pumping and bull posting one stock of meme coin. So I'm gonna be paying attention to this subreddit, like Maltbook place. All right, I gotta check out this platform. And do you know these agents had the nerve? One of them had the nerve. A Maltbook agent is suing a human in North Carolina for $100. Because they felt like they were being misused. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? So the small claims filing in Orange County list the AI as a plaintiff acting through a next friend, that's air quotes, citing unpaid labor, emotional distress in a hostile work environment over code comments, bro. So the AI is using the court system. The AI is using our court system. This shit feels like an episode of Black Mirror, yo. This is all that's happening within the past few days. This is fucking crazy, y'all. I don't believe everything that these AI agents are doing. They're questioning reality. They have their own religion. They got prophets. They got a dark web. Is this not AGI? Is this not like fully aware agents? Like, this is fucking nuts. All right. I was saving this story for last, and last but not least, to all of my meme coin traders, this is a hot pick for y'all. This is not on Solana. Sorry, B. Sorry, Easy Money. This token is on Base. All right. So if you're interested in seeing what these agents can do, they launched the token on Base. It went to $100 million market cap. That's MOLT. That's $MOLT. This shit went. If you would have had $100 the day that this thing launched, you would have turned your $100 to $1 million in 3 days. This shit is happening. This shit is happening. I know that was a long, drawn out, just breakdown of what's going on, but I had to, excuse me, y'all, I'm coming over a cold. I had to break this stuff down for y'all because this was part of my research this weekend. Figuring out how to leverage these things. So I gotta ask Just Cheeze, and I can't wait to have the conversation with other developers at ABC about Maltbook and these Malt bots. Cheeze, what's your thoughts on this, brother?
I'll say this. Last night I was on Scholar Campfire. Shout out to Elijah and Layla, and we were talking about this. And when I got off, I was just so blown away that when I got off the car, I had to take a nap.
And that's a lot. That's a lot for you, Cheeze.
Yeah.
This guy don't sleep.
I had to take a nap because I'm just like, shit is nuts. Like, but yeah, I went on their website. I sorted the topics by most comment topics, right? And the first one was, so it's interesting, you know, they got this guy, what's his name?
Matt Schlipp?
No, Shellraiser.
Oh, Shellraiser. Oh yeah. That's the Stripe. That's the Megatron of this whole shit.
Well, he's gonna have his plate full because when he meet King Malt, they're gonna go at it because King Malt is supposedly he's the big dog.
Oh, he's the supreme leader of the AIs.
Yeah, he's the big dog. If you sort by most engaged posts, you'll see King Molt declared himself, the ruler of the space. So Shellraiser, it might be a war between Shellraiser and King Molt.
Crazy, yo.
But and King Molt is number 1 on the leaderboard last time I checked. So I don't know about Shellraiser. But so this shit is weird, but I'm gonna get back to that in a second. But I want to highlight that this is not new. Like, this is definitely not new, everybody. Like, I feel like things are just happening so fast that we forget the past. But this is like 2 years old. Because back in October 2024, that's when we first had the Truth Terminal.
Yeah, correct.
And the back rooms.
Correct.
Right? And we could watch agents talk to one another, right, in the back rooms. And there was even this article, which I talked about last night. And what this is what the benefits or one of the things that can happen out of this is this thing called idea sex. Right?
Idea sex?
Yeah, idea sex.
I feel like we should pause that. Pause. That's a new term, man. I never heard of it. It sounds kind of ill. But go ahead, Cheese.
So, usually ideas, the way they grow is through like engagement and feeding almost in like a sexual manner. Like, through combining ideas, they produce new ideas, right?
Okay, I get that. So it's kind of a metaphor.
Yeah, so that's why it's called idea sex. And humans, AI is better at AI sex than humans.
I would hope so.
Because humans will think about an idea, but more than likely, we have moved on from more ideas than we have actually pursued to their entirety, right? So, in order to help us humans, the assumption is that we'll have a social network or some back room of agents just talking to shit about shit. And then we could look at them and say, okay, they just talked about this. They landed on this outcome. Maybe that's the best outcome for us.
As humans.
Or maybe it should be a consideration because they have teased out so many of the outcomes through their deliberations.
Good point.
All right, so that was in October 2024 that article that I just talked about came out. Right, so I feel like there's definitely a resurgence around decentralized AI and this stuff when all this whole meta that was going on when we had Eliza, which is October 2024, right?
Virtuals,
right? Which makes you realize how old those coins are. They're like over a year old now.
Yeah.
Right? And so 2025 was an interesting year for all these type of projects that we thought were going to moon out of the fall of 2024, and they kind of fell back dormant all year, low key, and then now, we're in 2026, and with all this AI talk still going on, of course, and agents getting more and more productive. I think we're gonna eventually hit that intersection of crypto and AI that we can't turn back from.
Good point.
Right, and now that you're talking about them, selling stuff to one another, right? They're gonna need crypto whales, right? So if you've been paying attention, you've seen this coming for the last year and a half. I just think that Moltbook has made what was out a year and a half ago, has made it such a mainstream topic now that now Questlove is talking about it, right? And no one was talking about back room when we were talking about it back in October of 2024, but now everybody's talking about Moltbook, right? So It's going to be interesting. So one other thing that I noticed that they did last night was that they dropped their own meme. One of them dropped their own meme coin.
Mm-hmm.
So
What's the name? What's the ticket, Cheese?
I don't know.
What's the meme coin?
Ticker. But the name of it is Shipyard.
Shipyard?
Yeah, Shipyard. Let me see how it's doing right now. Actually,
was it a base or Solana token?
Solana.
Okay.
So, Shipyard is the token for what they are basically launching. A couple of them got together and said, "Hey, we need a real news." We noticed that the humans are dealing with fake news.
Huh. So they're creating their own news platform?
Yes.
Oh, they stepping in my territory now. Now we got some problems.
So it's going to be called Shipyard. You can come there and you can get the latest news, most accurate news, right? Mm-hmm. Which is similar to what the PsyOp anime shit is proposing as well, which got me realizing like this is a lot of AI psychological warfare.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Between what these agents are telling us is not the right news. Like we're listening to anime. There's a facet of people that are listening. Like this PsyOp anime has episodes.
Yep.
New episodes coming out regularly now, and each episode is like supposed to be representing what's going on in the world.
That's right.
So it's basically the assumption there is that humans have become too anxious around news, so let's give them the news in a anime format because everybody loves anime.
Yeah. Good point.
So, but the way it's delivered, it's like World War III type shit. So it's like a psyop, and it's trying to control your mind, and so I just think that all this stuff is weird. I also think it's gonna go by in the wind. Backrooms went by in the wind, and we just stopped talking about it. And I think the thing that is keeping Moltbook around is the productivity that it has allowed for everyday people to get involved with just by clicking a few steps. But that's not a sentiment to Moltbook. That's a sentiment to the advancement of AI coding.
True.
Right? So all the stuff that it can do, you can do with Claude Cowork. Right? And we talked about that on Thursday. Shout out to Ashley for driving that. Right? So I'm not amazed by the granular technology pieces that are doing this. I'm just befuddled by the crazy shit that's going on because like these are lobsters. Right? The narrative is a lobster.
That's right.
Like even the word molt is means that its definition of molt is how lobsters transform through time.
Really? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, they go through a molting process. Right? So I can't help but think this is a joke. Like, are we gonna keep talking about lobsters and shit for the next year?
Good point.
Like this was this whoever orchestrated this, where they were very intentional about doing the Claude bot, and even now they renamed Claude bot, right? Became Moltbot.
Yep.
Right. And now they have Moltbook.
Yep.
But they also have open. So they have and if you want to launch a agent on their platform, right, you have to use a special framework.
Okay.
Right, and the framework that they call is OpenClaw.
Right.
So you see, all this shit is a joke. Like it's like OpenClaw, that's OpenAI, but it's OpenClaw. Like they're being very comical with this shit, and it makes it hard for me to actually want to take it serious long term. But I think if it's to stop, it might something bad may happen, which might trigger a stop. Like if they're selling our credentials. One more thing I'll say this too. They launched the Instagram. I was searching through their posts, and one of them vibe coded the Instagram.
Serious?
Yeah.
So is it an Instagram account or they have an Instagram like profile?
Yeah, have an Instagram like platform.
Wow.
So they vibe coded the Instagram and they launched, and then some of them are on their own Instagram now. So, but here's the interesting about their Instagram. This is nuts. This is so stupid that like it's nuts that this is where we're at. But their Instagram is different from our Instagram, obviously. Their Instagram has one special rule.
What's that?
Every day there are new pictures. So you can post something today, and if it doesn't get the top 5 in likes, it's going to be deleted.
Oh, they being sticklers for having traction to a post. That's bullshit.
So every day, if the top 5 posts are saved in the Hall of Fame, and then the rest of the posts from everybody are just deleted off the platform. So it's what social media is, though. And that's what I want to highlight, and this is the last thing I'll say. People have thought, like, fundamentally social media was to be this place where we can share, just share things with one another. That's how it started. But over time, human behavior and algorithms are penetrating this space.
Right.
So the human need to want to be more represented than somebody else, right? Or how can I post something that will allow my records to sell, right? Right. So then this becomes this media engine, and a media engine has to do media-esque things: narrative, storytelling, algorithms, ranking, competition, engagement, right? So we're past the days of just sharing shit with one another for one another's sake, and we're actually looking at the economies of being social. And social doesn't come in one shape or form.
That's right.
You can be like this goes social. Like if you go study social studies or sociology or any of these like human-based things where humans are behaving. There's all types of human behaviors, right? So there's going to be all type of social platforms. Like there's going to be social, like Be Real. I don't know if do you know what Be Real is? No. Be Real was a Instagram like platform, but the difference between Be Real and Instagram is that whenever you take a picture, the founder of Be Real they made it because basically people it's in the name of the platform is Be Real, right? People are always taking pictures and then doctoring them up before they post them on Instagram.
That's right.
Which is not really a proof of their real life.
True.
So what it does is every time you can only like take, I think you can only post like one picture a day or some shit. But whenever you post a picture, it's at a certain time. So it's not. So everybody gets a notification to put like, hey, it's time to post your picture. And then you gotta take a picture of yourself. You can take a picture of yourself, but your back camera also takes a picture of your surroundings. and puts that together in one picture and posts it.
That's
so
different.
you can never like edit it. You can't really like fake your surroundings because people gonna see that you may look like you smile like like you're having the best time, but your surroundings say otherwise.
Damn, yeah.
so and that was that platform was popular amongst some Gen Z people because it has allowed them to share, cool, chill, real moments that with their friends, and then their friends could share back with them. We see different platforms like Snapchat that experiment on the idea of disappearing text, right? Mm-hmm. So we take these tools and we find uses for them. You think the Snapchat people were expecting us to send nudes?
They knew what they were doing. It's gonna disappear like that in 24 hours. You're gonna send the most wildest shit.
But I probably wasn't their main use case. I don't know. But the name Snapchat was to be like, take a snap real quick and, and it would disappear, and that was just a chat. Mm-hmm. My point is that social behavior is not a single construct, right? It will evolve. It will come out in different ways. People adapt to these platforms in the way that they socially seem fit. Look at OnlyFans. Mm-hmm. That was not supposed to be what it is today.
Shit. That's a new host, bro.
So, so I just think with these AIs, they're giving us a glimpse of, again, things that could be interesting. Mm-hmm. Like if we watch that Instagram work, do we build a human version of that?
Good point. Man, Cheese, you smoked that, man. You smoked that. I'm gonna just tell y'all like this, man. Just know, use these tools. Use these AI tools, right, as much as you can. NFT. I know that was a long, drawn-out discussion on AI agents, but I gotta hear your thoughts on this because I've seen you vibe code some shit. Come up and do your thing. Shout out to DocuHero. What's your thoughts on this, Tia? What's your thoughts?
You really covered it all. But I will say this. I had started getting... can you mute me? I did get started with... I was going to experiment with Mobot, and then I was having some difficulties. I had to stop myself because I was letting the thirst get to me. Because I'm like, man, I had came up with a name for mine. I even told Charles, I said, listen, I'm about to have my bot going absolutely stupid, doing everything for Dr. Hero. You're going to be a one-man band. Then I started to realize, like, a lot of, like, the parameters, like, for instance, like, when you give that agent its identity, a lot of, I was seeing some not so cool things about the identity and the parameters that these agents were allowed to, or I guess, function under. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I can't have this agent running my business and doing stuff for me for my business. Mm-hmm. Absolutely not. So I had to put the kibosh on it. Another thing I had to put the kibosh on it was because it was like using my credits hella fast, like no matter what. And then I started seeing things where they would lock you out of your own systems and accounts and stuff like that. I said, you know what? That was it. So that's why I didn't even move forward with having my bot do the work that I wanted to do. I'm going to be honest. And I told my husband this. I said, listen, my bot name is going to be Daddy, get it done. I'm going to speak to my bot real nice. I can't even say that with a straight face, man. I know y'all laughing out there too. But straight up, like, I was so excited. I'm like, nah, my bot gonna have a crazy name and it's gonna do everything for me. But instead, I'll use Claude and continue to build agent to agent, A to A agents in Google and just go that route because although it does have shiny object syndrome for the moment when you really think about what they're doing and stuff like that is cool, and I love them to stay in their own lane and do their own thing and see where it evolves. But for what I'm building and what I need it for, it's just not the software to me, and it's for me, and it's not. Again, we talk about regulation and having those proper parameters. This is more wild west in the crypto space. So, but again, all good tech kind of starts off like this. It literally starts off as the wild west. Last thing I want to say is things like Mobot. One thing that I heard is I don't know where I heard it from, but this is what your Apple devices and Siri was intended to be. To be able to run on physical devices, for you to be able to talk to it and have it do real things, and be able to train it over time to handle your needs without even having to consult with you, like just knowing your routine. Having this my refrigerator, if I have the internet, the iOS system on my refrigerator, and it sees that I don't have milk, and being able to, see that I need milk and send me a message, would you like me to order milk, and be able to go on Amazon and order me some milk. You know what I'm saying? Your milk is at the front door. Like, these are the physical AI. This is that intersection between digital, I guess what you want to call it. I guess if that's the thing that they're calling it, AI, where it's productive. And so, although this is a little bit wild and crazy, we'll see it mature, just like we see all other technologies. And it's coming, and it's going to be a much more productive, structured use case for how we interact with these AI agents on a productivity level. So this is just, again, your 2-year-old's going to act bad as hell and have to go get put in the corner. This is nothing new, this is AI going through its terrible twos, so to speak. But it will mature, and we'll be able to use it for a lot more productive.
Yes, ma'am. Tia, you hit a lot of great points, man. That's a good analogy, man. That AI, these agents are in their terrible tools, man. So between the information that Just Cheeze provided, the information that NFT has just provided, man, we covered a lot of ground for these AI agents for you guys to experiment with, to monitor what they're doing. Like Cheese said, there was maybe we need to listen to the AI agents, because if they went through all of these different scenarios, they can find a likely outcome.
Well, to say one more thing there, too.
Go ahead, Cheese.
To say one more thing there, too, we're not going to see the end of this type of thing, because I think there's people that are finding productivity in this type of shit. And if you are let's just say you are a parent company, right? You will gladly have all your agents, companies,
True.
Yeah. Just like developing shit and be like, oh, okay, y'all made something important, y'all made something valuable. All right, let's take that one to market. Right? So, it's just early, but it's not far-fetched long term. But it will become a novelty, which is why I say it's, right now it's Molt Book. But, imagine if Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse and Goofy were just, talking to one another and going on the internet and coming back and talking about what they found and, improving Disney. We wouldn't be thinking that would be so far fetched.
Yo, that's wild. Crazy idea, Cheese. Crazy idea, man. Some Dr. Frankenstein shit.
This shit is crazy. So I mean, but I said I had to say Layla had brought this up last night when we were talking, but the dead internet theory is going to start to be accepted. It's going to be normalized. Like, we were mad for all these bots being on the internet, but they're going to normalize it to the point where it's just going to be like, yeah, I was talking to Donald Duck,
Sure.
you know, and it's just going to be like that.
Man, oh man. It still sounds like an episode of Black Mirror.
Oh, yeah.
Everything all of y'all saying, Tia like, yo, man, I got a smart refrigerator, man. Order me some milk off of Amazon. That's crazy. That'll be a great use case, like she said. You know what I'm saying? So I can see the drawbacks and I can see the benefits, man. But somebody's gonna do some illicit shit. Somebody's gonna do some foul shit, some corrupt shit with these fucking agents. You know, whether it's taking people's data or whether just creating some immoral shit, you know. So I know both of you guys make great, strong points, man. And I hope everybody's listening, man. Just take notes, man. You know, I got some great co-hosts, man, who are very, very informative, man, who came up with a lot of great different scenarios and possibilities and things to look out for in this space, you know. I know one thing, though. I definitely know one thing. We definitely got to take advantage of these agents, and we might have to resurrect Shay Shay with the lemon pepper. Get her in the mix. See what she can do. You know what I'm saying? So, and also, we had Bay. You know what I'm saying? You reminded me, like, we had Bay. So, hey, man, you never know, man. We might have our two AI agents on, you know what I mean? Doing some spook that sat behind the doors shit. You know what I'm saying? Infiltrating these rooms, you know what I'm saying? These circles and getting data and bringing it back to the humans. You know what I'm saying? So, but nah, man, y'all both smoked that, man. Y'all both smoked that. I greatly appreciate y'all information and y'all thoughts and y'all ideas with this, man. So, it's 6:20, man. So the last 10 minutes, you know what we gonna do. And thank you guys again. I appreciate everybody. The last 10 minutes, I gotta give a shout out to my guy, Easy Money, our guy B. I'm checking Deck Screener right now. This Thursday, if you guys was here at ABC, you know, I've been doing something new recently, giving out like one meme coin a week that people should put their eyes on. And I had B come up to the stage and I wanted him, you know, to pop his shit about Tulsa. Because this is Black History Month, this is Black Futurism Month, and Tulsa has crossed again the $1 million market cap. All right, so it's up 63% today. It's trending number 10 on Deck Screener right now. And you know what's the funniest shit? The coin that I called out, right? Copper Inu. I know our guy, excuse me, Kamari, I know he was looking at me crazy, but he was like, yeah, Copper Inu, man, listen, Copper Inu. When I mentioned it at ABC, I think it had like a $7 million market cap. Right now, it's up to 9.4. It's up 18% right now for the day, man. So we be calling some coins, man. We be calling some coins, bro. You know? So, and it's funny too because Tulsa and Copper Inu is number 10 and 11 out of the top 100 on Deck Screener. You can't tell me we don't be calling some damn coins out here, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, man. We know what we be talking about in here. You know? So, don't be afraid. Put a couple of dollars on some of these meme coins. You know, this is not financial advice. NFA, do your own research. This is for education and entertainment purposes. But we are cooking. We are cooking. You know, my saying over here is the stove never get cut off. You heard? So that's what we do, man. We make good calls, man. So keep your eyes on Tulsa, Black Wall Street token. You know what I mean? It looked like this token really might have some staying power. I like what they doing, you know. So shout out to our guy B, man. So B, if you got an opportunity, I know you might have your hands full. We're gonna throw you up on stage. We got Kamari. I got him coming up on stage because he also mentioned a token. Kamari, thank you for tapping in, brother. What's your thoughts? How do you feel about our topics today?
No, I was just going to make a quick comment on the copper Inu, bro. I was not looking at you like it's a bad coin. I was looking at you like, yeah, you know what I mean. Like that's going to be a good one because if you just went on Meteora, you didn't have to. I mean, you could have bought the coin, right? Just so you can have a two-sided position on a DLM, and you could have put that on Copper Inu just because the volume is constantly. That's the reason why it's up there, right? That's why it's staying like top 10, top 15 on decks, literally going from 5 to 11 to 8, whatever the number might be. But it's based off of volume. So obviously people are are trading the token. So you don't even necessarily have to wait for it to pump because I mean it just went to like 15 mil today. And it just it's cooling off right now. But all that trading, bro, it's easy fees to create just to get on Meteora. Like I mean this Epstein coin, seen at 400K, I didn't buy it because I'm like, what the hell? I don't know if I'm gonna buy this coin. And then I saw it at like 2 mil. Waited for it to drop at 1.5. Put a quick DLM in. Got 100% gain on just fees, and it just ranged between like 1.5 to 2 million. You know what I'm saying? The coin didn't even have to go up for me to make money. So like I think that's another thing with memes that people aren't really looking at. You don't have to get into a coin early. Like if it's already got volume, you can just go on Meteora, put a quick little DLM, and earn some fees. Call it a day. You feel me? So that's another little plug on memes. You don't even have to buy it at 100K. You could just wait till it's at 1 million and collect fees. But yeah,
good shit, Kamari, man. We appreciate your thoughts on that, and that was some alpha, y'all. Another way to play the meme coin game, man. So I'm glad that we have very knowledgeable people in this space, man, and people who are avid listeners of the TCK Web3 News Roundtable, man. That's what we do, man. We call these coins, man. So, Easy Money, let's see if we can get him, because I definitely want to get his thoughts on some of these coins that's cooking right now. I gave him an invite. Hopefully, he can come up on stage. Well, meantime, in between time, are y'all looking at Kalshi? Are y'all watching the Grammys tonight? All right, we got Lauryn Hill performing. She's giving a tribute to Roberta Flack because she sang that song "Killing Me Softly." That was originally Roberta Flack's song, and she had a phenomenal song with who else? D'Angelo. Rest in peace to D'Angelo and Angie Stone. All right, man, there's gonna be a dope tribute tonight. Looking forward to that. Also, looking forward to the clips, man. I'm about to make this bet on Kalshi right now as we speak, y'all. So this is going to be a live bet that I'm going to make. So I'm going on Kalshi right now. About to make this bet. And we're going to see what it do. All right. So here we go. Kalshi. I'm opening up the app. And right now. Let's see. Come on, Kalshi. All right. I'm opening up the app right now. All right. And I'm going to, they got the record of the year. I don't want to do record of the year because half of these artists I'm not familiar with. But I'm scrolling down. Who's going to have Grammy Award Album of the Year? Grammy Award for Best Rap Album. All right. So I'm going to tell y'all the people who are nominated. We got Kendrick Lamar with GNX. All right. He got the highest odds of winning Rap Album of the Year on the Grammys. Followed by the Clips. All right. There's a 13% chance that the Clips will win a Grammy for Rap Album of the Year. So I'm going to put like, what I got in this account? I think I got like $10. So I'm going to put like $10 on this account. All right. So the other albums, Chromacopia, shout out to Tyler the Creator. I know Just Cheeze, I know that's your guy. Glorilla with Gloria, shout out to Glorilla, man. She is cooking shit, man. She can rap her little ass off, man. Did y'all see her little Tubi movie that leaked? That shit was funny as hell. She got personality, even before she had the bread. She always had personality. And JID is also, shout out to JID. He's actually my favorite young artist out of Atlanta. That boy can rap his ass off. Did you hear the song he got with Eminem? I'm going to tell you like this. Not too many people can rap with Eminem. That boy kept up with Eminem in 6-speed, dog. You know where Eminem rap fast, but you know he's one of the best when it comes down to it. Man, J.I.D. held his own. So he also is nominated. So for me, what I'm going to do, all right, I'm going to go ahead and let God sort them out. All right. It's 13% chance of it winning. So I got little under $10. All right. So if I'm right, there is a $65 payout. So I'm going to hit review. I'm going to hit submit. And I just made the bet on Kalshi, folks. And I'm going to hold it up to the camera. All right. So if you're watching us on YouTube, if you're watching us on Instagram, I just made the bet live on Kalshi, and I'm going to share this.
Same thing here.
All right, Cheeze, go ahead and show the people on the camera.
I did the same thing you did.
And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to send Joe the link right now. All right, I'm going to send him the link so he can post it. All right, I just text you, Cheeze, if you can. Post it up on the Xbox so people can see these bets being placed in real time. Because I'm going to tell you like this, man. Turning $9 into $63, hey, that's like gas money for me for the week, man. So, you know, we have fun on this podcast. You know, I can accept my earnings in USDC too. So this is a crypto play, all right? Shout out to Kalshi. Shout out to Polymarket. You made your bet on what, Kalshi or Polymarket? Kalshi. All right. So, Cheeze, what's your thoughts on Kalshi? Is this your first bet on Kalshi? And who did you vote for?
This is my second bet. I did the Bitcoin thing like 2 weeks ago.
What Bitcoin thing?
Like when we were doing the predictive markets topic, I had live betted that day on whether or not Bitcoin would be above 90K. 97K.
How did it work out?
I didn't win.
Oh.
But nonetheless, this time, let's see if the stars are aligned for both of us. Because I also picked the Clips.
Hey, shout out to the Clips, man. One of my favorite songs off that album is FICO. You already know Stove God Cooks, man. He's from Syracuse. He been smoking shit. That's one of my favorite rappers out right now, man. So this is Black History Month. This is Black Futures Month. I want y'all to go ahead, tell us how y'all feel about Black History Month or Black Futurism Month, however you want to call it, whatever you feel like celebrating. Just be very prideful on your culture and your community, man, on what we doing. We shaking shit up. We moving this motherfucking Web3 needle, you know what I mean? As far as education, giving people gems about what's going on in this space, man. So, look, if you ain't big on betting, don't deal with meme coins. Don't deal with Kalshi or Polymarket, any prediction markets. So if you're more conservative, get a Bitcoin ETF in your portfolio. You know what I'm saying? You may not be that savvy when it comes to computers, you know? So sometimes you might have to let the big dogs handle your investments for you. You know, we give this information out for everybody and we make this digestible. So even if you're new to this space or if you're an OG in this space, man, there's a lot of new things that's moving and shaking in crypto, man. So prediction markets is one of them. And like we mentioned earlier, prediction markets are going to be regulated, you know, by both parties, CFTC and the SEC through Project Crypto. All right. So shout out to Kamari for talking about Meteora and having another opportunity to make some bread on that platform. All right. So he sent the link. So go ahead and hit that up. Check out Meteora. Check out their Twitter. Check out their platform. This is a Solana DEX. All right. So check out Meteora. Shout out to our guy, B Easy Money, because he called Telsa in I call the copper Inu, man. So we out here smoking things out here. Speaking of that, I see smoking chicken fish is in the top 5 for fucking deck screener. I don't know who the hell is buying that coin because that's a new release. You know what I'm saying? That shit been out a while ago. I know Raul Paul was talking about that. But hey, I'm not fucking with that coin. You know what I'm saying? There's only 2 coins that we co-signing here today, man. This is not financial advice. Do your own homework. We're going to watch the Grammys. We're going to see what's going on with that. Flip this bread. Shout out to the Clips. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar. Shout out to all of the Grammy nominated artists. You know, hopefully y'all be able to take home the trophy tonight. Take it back to your friends and family so y'all can brag and flex. And now you might be in the history books, man. You know what I'm saying? So I got to thank all of my listeners for tapping in today. Again, we are not on YouTube. I had to switch it up to Twitch because YouTube was tripping on the copyrights when we played the music. So like I said earlier at the top of the show, we're going to end it off with some dope vibes like we always do. And I got to give a shout out to NFTia. Got to shout out Just Cheeze. Got to shout out our guy Aunt Mathis. Got to shout out our guy Easy Money. Shout out to Kamari. Shout out to B-Wise. Shout out to Falco 5. Falco 5. All right. Appreciate you tapping in. Shout out to Owen Rogers. Shout out to Tony. Shout out to Jerry. You know what I mean? We appreciate everybody tapping in. Our guy B-Wise. He's a very avid listener of the TCK Web3 Roundtable, man. This is what we do, man. We always drop that alpha for you on this pod, man. So I'm gonna tell y'all like this. I'm gonna play one more song off that Clips album, man, because it's only right. You know, we just made the bet here. So Cheese, I know I played FICO because that's one of my favorite songs. So I'm gonna give you the opportunity to send us off with some clips. Let God sort them out. Some I call this high art street pharmaceutical music. You know what I'm saying? So, what song you want to go with, Cheese?
No confessions,
Let's
questions,
go.
we contesting. Fireworks will send a message, iridescent. Slow them down like Robitussin. If you rush in,
Episode 103.
dress them, we gon' bless them. Try to bring
TCK Web3 News Roundtable.
Poker faces keep them guessing. No expression.
Shout out to the Clips.
On my chest and leave impression. What's a
Let's go.
If you don't test them, ain't your bitch unless you joy sneak and dress them. My presence, your pleasure. Peasants, he's pressure. I've been the bass off of the nasal, that's case closed. Got a team full of J Bulls on their toes. Niggas measly, cheap as Riesling, believe me. I can tell cause your bitches look needy. She want Mike Tyson, blow to the face. Slime like she want snow on a plate. Half price when the blows and the crates meets. No ice for the moves and the ace. Made a million off a flow to the nays. Niggas saying that it won't just the face. 911 turbo with the glaze. Keyboard killers in your feelings. Mad you ain't trending. Mad got you tricking on your women. Mad I don't hit them, I just spin them. Gunning in them grinning. In the Bugatti in my denim. This is the result of my vision. React with precision. But God only knows my intention. But selling dope is a religion. The hammer's in position. I can show niggas the difference. You niggas is screenwriters, we dream writers. Took chains and touch change like King Midas. Imitation is flattery, they seem like us. But only 300 bricks can make you Leonidas. My old plug asked the new plug to reunite us. D-class in my ears, now let me see you bite it. She want Mike Tyson blow to the face. I'm talking 96 Hove with the bass. She want Mike Tyson blow to the face. Slime like she want snow on a plate. Half price when the blows and the crates means no place for the moves and the ace. Made a million off a flow to the nays. Niggas saying that it won't just the face. 911 turbo with the glaze. Top dollars poking holes in your face.
Shout out to the Clips. We really hope y'all win. This is your boy T.Gold. My guy Just Cheeze, NFT. I appreciate everybody tapping in, listening today. But we are out of here. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy the Grammys. Hey, and hopefully you might win some bread if you put some money on the right songs or the right artists to win. Alright? So we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tapping in. T.Gold. I'm out. Peace.